I know I'm running a little bit behind, but oh no. But guys, feel free to chime in and let me see here. One second. Give everybody a chance to get on, all that other great stuff. Stop by and say hi. Spread this out, share it with your friends. Going to be talking about investing without the stock market. Give me a second here. I'm trying to see some different stuff here, but okay. A couple of flies out here today. Some gnats out here today. If you stop by, tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're from, where you're at, all of the great stuff like that. About to put this on my Twitter. And still getting kind of used to this. No. Maryland, okay. I see we got Maryland in the house with Matty D. What's going on, Matty D? Tell me what's on your mind. Tell me what you guys think about the show. North Carolina in the house. Let me see. New to all of this. South Carolina in the house. North Carolina in the house. I'm looking a little rough today. Hit the thumbs up button. Let me know if you guys like this whole live thing. I was just sitting back relaxing and thought I'd come out and go live. But anyway, Tampa. There we go. Brooklyn in the house. Tampa in the house. What did I say earlier? North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm all the way out here in Hawaii. So, got my little investor show shirt on. But anyway, this weekend, yesterday I went to my cousin's birthday party for some kids. So I was at Chuck E. Cheese yesterday. But anyway, I'm going to get into this whole thing about investing. And I wrote on the community and I said, hey, I'm going ready to go live today. I'm a little bit behind. It's 12 o'clock over here in Hawaii. It's 6 p.m. on the East Coast. So Matty D said, trying to build up your portfolio when you have a negative network. How would you get a fiduciary to work with you? Well, Matty D, you're saying, hey, I have a negative network and I'm trying to build up a portfolio. My question is, do you have a cash flow? AKA, do you have a job? Do you have money coming in? If you do have money coming in, there's a possibility to build up a portfolio. You can. That's a big thing. People always think it's about a lot of money, but it's really about cash flow. Because if you have any type of cash flow, this is something that I learned definitely in business and definitely in life. He said, I have a job, don't pay much though. That's all right. You're getting paid, right? It's not about how much you make, it's about what you do with what you make. For a prime example, I used to take home more money in my younger teens and 20s than I did, in my late 20s. The reason that was, and of course the AC wants to cut on as soon as I start talking. But the reason is, let's say if I have $500 worth of bills, but I only bring home $1,500 a month. If I bring home $1,500 a month and I have $500 worth of bills, that means I have $1,000 worth of positive cash flow. Versus, it's some people out there that may bring home $5,000 per month, but they have $4,500 worth of bills. What's the difference? They have a positive cash flow of $500. So someone who's making less money can actually have more cash flow. If you have more cash flow, that lets you know that you can go out and you can still start to invest. For prime example, you don't have to be a millionaire to start investing. That was one of my biggest misconceptions about investing. You have a negative cash flow. You can get fiduciaries to work with you. There are products out there that you can buy and stuff like that. But one of the things I wanted to hit on was people were saying, hey, Prince, okay, I get it, stocks and bonds. How can I invest? guys, I do a live show. 1 second here. Matty D said, working on my OW business on the side makes sense. So working on my OW business on the side makes sense. What are you saying? Oh, working on your own business. Got it. Working on your own business on the side makes sense. Yeah, and let me tell you, before I know people that's tuned in for the topic, like, man, this is dude that we're going to get to the topic, but I talk too much. I know that, that's part of why I do podcasts and radio and stuff like that. But one of the things that I learned, doesn't matter. Let's say if you got $10,000 worth of credit card debt and you receive $1,000 that come into your company or your house. Don't place all the $1,000 onto the credit card debt, because most people will say, hey, you know what? If I put this on this credit card debt, the debt comes down. But one of the things is what you want to do is you want to take the credit card debt and slowly, what you want to do is take the credit card debt and slowly pay some of it down and keep some money in the cash value. Some stuff is throwing me off. Like every time I get to talking, I see clicks coming in, all type of inboxes and stuff like that. So like I'm saying, if you got $10,000 you bring in, you got $10,000 of credit card debt, you bring in $1,000, don't put all of that money on the credit card. If that's your only debt, put majority, put some, maybe put 500 or 800, but keep some money to yourself at all times, because you just never know what may happen. Let's say if you pay the credit card all the way off, now you're back at zero. You need money to do something. Now you're going back to the credit card because you don't have money. So always keep a positive. If you have cash flow coming in, put money to the side every time. You got $10,000 of debt, you got $1,000 that come in, put $600 or $700 on the credit card, put $300 in your checking account, because you just never know. Cash flow is the king. Robert Kiyosaki made a board game called Cash Flow. Cash flow is the king. So when that money's coming in, start stacking it to the side, pay down your debt, but still stack some to the side, because you just never know when your cash flow can get hit, i.e. you may lose your job, i.e. your business may go down, when you may lose a client, that cash flow may stop. California, we got California in the house. That's what? California, Tampa, South Carolina, North Carolina, all the other good stuff. Yeah, Matty D saying preach. I'm preaching from my personal experience, because I had debt on the side and I paid down the debt. All the money I got, I put it on the debt. Great. Paid off the debt. Awesome. But guess what? I had no money. So I had no money, but I had no debt, which was cool. But let's say if I was to lose my job, say if I was to lose the cash flow, say if you was to lose revenue or something, now you're hit. He is right. Cash flow is everything. Some people think about having a pile of money. Now I'm going to get to that. That's pouring into the topic. People say, Prince, how can I invest besides stocks and bonds? Earlier this week, you guys know I do a live TV show here called The Prince of Investing. I'm uploading it here to YouTube. I just spoke about insurance. It's something called annuities. There's something called whole life insurance policies or index universal life policies. For prime example, insurance companies, you can invest via insurance. How is that? If I offer to give you $2 million today, answer this question. Would you want $2 million today or $10,000 a month until the day you die? Which one will you want? Granted, most people are going to think $2 million a day. I become a millionaire today versus $10,000 a month. So he's saying $2 million a day. That's KS quad 2, right? So let's think about it. You get the $2 million a day. Uncle Sam is going to say congratulations. Now let me get 33% or whatever the case may be. Now let's hypothetically speak and say now you're going from 2 million to 1.5. Let's say if you take half of that 1.5 and you buy a house, like most people will do. You buy a house, you pay some debt down, all of the good stuff like that. Now you're left with a couple $100,000, right? Potentially you could run out of money, because that house, even though you pay it off, you're still going to have property tax, you're still going to have lights, water, gas, problems that go on with the house, whatever the case may be. Your car is still going to need gas, stuff like that. What are you going to do to keep that money coming in? You have no cash flow, but you had a large sum. Versus if I take $10,000 a month for the rest of my life, I know I cannot run out of money, right? So with that $10,000 a month, I can go purchase me a house. I can afford a mortgage. I can afford a car note. I can afford a mortgage. I can afford a car note. I can afford lights, water, gas, all of the good stuff like that, and still have a positive cash flow. I can take $10,000 a month, live off of $5,000 to operate my life for $6,000, and still have $4,000 a month that I can still put somewhere else, or whatever the case may be. And I can't run out of my money. Versus if I take the $2 million a day, I could potentially be left with a couple $100,000, and you're in your 20s or 30s wondering, man, what am I going to do for the rest of my life, or how can I do this? Now, if you got a great business venture or a great business you want to get into and you need the capital or whatever, hey, I want to take this money that I want to go get a franchise like McDonald's and I want to run with this. Okay, so once a sec, he said potentially, but if I treat my large sum like the 10,000 and invest, would that work out still? That's true. Maybe. What would you do if I gave you $2 million a day? How would you invest it? Everybody say invest. How would you invest it? That's what I want to know. You got $2 million a day, how would you invest it? Right? But think about it. If you take the $2 million and go buy a McDonald's, guess what you're trying to do? You're trying to get a cash flow from the business when you already have a guaranteed cash flow. Hopefully that McDonald's goes well. Let's say if McDonald's doesn't go well, you already have a running business. See, that's different, right? You got a running business. You're like, hey, I have a business that I have going on. This is where I want to put it. So you're saying you'll only increase your business operations. Great, right? You saying, hey, if I got $2 million a day or 1.5 million after tax, I can put it somewhere else. But the point is, right? How can you do this? If you make a large sum of money, let's say your parents, grandparents, or you got a life insurance policy, you can invest into annuities where insurance companies are going to pay you for the remainder of your life if you give a lump sum. Another way is through index universal life policies, right? Insurance companies, why does this make sense? Why do insurance companies do this? You notice you rarely hear insurance companies or never hear of insurance companies going out of business. Insurance companies bank on people lapsing their coverage. Okay, Monty Blank, where you from, Monty Blank? You say, I buy property, preferably a large complex that can generate money per month from tenants. True, everyone's situation is different. All right, that's what okay, so Monty, so you're going to buy a property to generate cash flow. That's pretty much it. The point I'm making is, even though I can't even say your username of the person that said they had their own business, they would put it inside of their business, you're going to put it in your business to create cash flow. You want to say buy a large property so you can create cash flow. So at the end of the day, you're trying to generate cash flow. Same thing, that $10,000 a month. If I got $10,000 guaranteed per month, and to think about it too with the person with the small business, if you have $10,000 guaranteed per month, you could borrow against that. Not against the money, but financially, you're pretty set. So that's what, $10,000 a month, that's $120,000 guaranteed. You can take that and still invest. Hey, I make $10,000 a month. Maybe I can borrow against this to put into your business. Cash flow is key. Cash flow is everything. You guys Google or look up Whitney Tilson. Whitney, like Whitney Houston, Whitney, and type in Tilson, Tilson. He has been on this show before. Only like 3 minutes. He was over at Berkshire. Just Friday, he closed down his hedge fund. His hedge fund, he managed $180 million, and he had, just due to poor performance, he only had $50 million left when he closed his fund on Friday. So with that being said, is when you look at Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, one of the key indications that it has is it has cash flow. Cash flow is everything in business. It owns Geico. So every day you pay for life insurance, you pay for car insurance, you pay for renter insurance, you pay for whatever the case may be, right? So you're paying for life insurance. I live in New Jersey. I'm Albanian by nationality. Oh, wow. New Jersey in the house. There we go. I don't know. We got like what, 5 different, what's it, Tampa? So that's Florida, California, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey. I'm in Hawaii. Mississippi in the house. Okay. DC representing, man. That's like what, 7, 10 countries, not countries, but states that are tuning in. That's awesome, man. That's great. But there are Tallahassee, Florida. Okay, Adrian Walker from Tallahassee. I see you. Thanks for tuning in. I kind of like this, talking to you guys. So, because everybody else say I talk too much. But anyway, guys, also I have a podcast, The Investor Show, my weekly podcast that I put a lot of stuff like this and up on and stuff like that. But anyway, what everybody say, hey, whether you put it in your business, whether you put it in real estate, everybody's trying to take a large sum of money and turn it into a cash flow. The only thing about it is with your rental properties, there's risk involved. With your how much risk you have involved with going out getting a large property like a apartment complex and being able to generate cash flow. You may have bad tenants. You may the property value may drop. You may have property damage may happen. Maintenance, maintenance especially, bad maintenance people, toilets break, all type of stuff. That's risk involved. Also with your own business operation, that's risk involved. Why would I take a risk when I can limit my risk? Granted, the only risk that I have with an annuity is the insurance company going out of business. And with an insurance company going out of business, it's just like a person. You check the credit history. You just don't go there and just give anybody your money. You check their credit history. When you go into the bank today and say, let me borrow $500, they're not just going to say, oh, you want $500? Here you go. Bam. They're going to say, hey, we're going to do a credit check. You want to go buy a car? They're going to do a credit check. So when you go to an insurance company, do a credit check. If you didn't tune into the show, go back and watch it. But it's 3 agencies out there: Standard & Poor, like S&P 500, Standard & Poor, S&P. You have Moody's, and you have AMB Best. That's Alpha, Mango, Best, AMB Best. They're credit agencies that rate insurance companies. So if I was going to give my money to an insurance company to get paid for the rest of my life, do a credit report. How does a credit report happen? They're going to look and see how well Gardner Douglas says Mike. I don't know what you mean by Mike Gardner, but thanks for tuning in. But what, my microphone, you mean? You got M-I-K-E like as in a name. Hope you guys can hear me. M. Mike. Who is M. Mike? What is that? Gardner Douglas. But you can look at Mango. Oh, there you go. There you go. Got you. Yeah, it's Alpha Mike Best, AM Best. You can look at it. Got it, Monty. Okay, he was like, I'm like, Mike, he talking about microphone, he talking about whatever. But that's the phonic alphabet for all the military people that's out there. But you can look up an insurance company and it tells you their financial stability to be able to pay back its debt. Because when a company takes on that $2 million, what that company is going to do with that $2 million, what Geico does with your money, they go off and they invest your money, right? And what a company does is, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you guys like it. I don't think you can hit the thumbs down, but if you hate the video, hit the thumbs up button anyway. But anyway, that company, the insurance company, is going to take your $2 million that you give it today, and it's going to go invest it, right? It's going to go, maybe it may buy real estate, property, stuff like that or whatever. But what a credit agency does is it looks at a company and it sees that what is the possibility, not the possibility, but it looks and sees, can it pay back his debts? So if I was to go buy an annuity, you can invest into annuities. So say today I'm 33 years old. I just had my birthday last week. I can pretty much invest and purchase an annuity and to say, hey, when I'm 50 years old, I want you to pay me $1,000 per month until the day I die. You can do that. With insurance policies, when you buy insurance policies, if you got a whole life policy, they carry a cash value. That cash value, ICE Base says, I need help in penny stocks. You're going to love Tuesday show. Stay tuned, ICE Base, Tuesday show. You're going to love it. Or you're going to like it. Or you're going to find it useful. Hopefully you love it. But we're going to do that next Tuesday. Hopefully, I don't like to talk about upcoming shows because, you know, I have guests that are scheduled, but sometimes guests can't make it. Something happens or whatever the case may be. But if everything goes properly, you can do that. Also, Ice Blast, look back on, have you heard of Timothy Sykes or Tim Sykes? He's one of the most known penny stock traders that are out there. He's been on like Larry King, Steve Harvey, all the big name shows, ABCs or whatever. What time Tuesday, Monty? I shoot live here in Hawaii. It's only local here in Hawaii at 5 p.m. on ThinkTech, on www.thinktechhawaii.com. And how often is the stream live for this? Monty, I'm going to do this every week. I'm trying to set up every weekend. Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to do this live stream. And I do a live show here in Hawaii on every Tuesdays at 5 p.m. It's local here in Hawaii, but it does live stream in on www.thinktechhawaii.com. Thinktechhawaii.com. You can go there and catch it. But if you don't catch it live, I upload the videos like Wednesday anyway. So you can catch it live. I give it to you guys all type of ways. If you're not here in Hawaii, you can catch it. You can catch it live stream. If you're not here in Hawaii, you can catch it on local television here, possibly here in Hawaii. If not, it'll be on my podcast. It'll be uploaded on my YouTube channel. All the other great stuff. So since I know it's only the real fans here, I don't know if you heard of Timothy Sykes. You can Google Timothy Sykes, look him up. He's notorious for being a penny stock trader, turning $4,000 into $2 million. He's been on all the big major networks. He's been on this show before. You can go back and look up the podcast of Timothy Sykes. We did a whole hour episode of him talking about penny stocks, all that good stuff like that. So he's scheduled to come back onto the show on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. He's supposed to come back on the show Tuesday. So if he comes on the show Tuesday, we're going to be talking about penny stocks. So if not, we'll be doing another show. I usually don't say stuff like this, but this is my live stream where I can talk. So if I'm not mistaken, he's scheduled to come on the show Tuesday. One of the world's, probably the world's largest penny stock trader. He was on the Wall Street Warriors show. All type of shows. He got his own show. He got his own YouTube channel. Check his YouTube channel out, you know. Timothy Sykes, but he's supposed to be on our live show on Tuesday. If not, check out the podcast. He was on the podcast in January, which is here on the YouTube channel, stuff like that. Just Google The Investor Show, Timothy Sykes. It'll pop up somewhere. So hopefully that helps you out. But anyway, when you're looking at stuff like that, those are different ways you can invest. Don't think of, people forget about insurance. Everybody thinks about insurance, not insurance, but everybody thinks about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and Forex trading. You can get into Forex if you don't want to do stocks and bonds. Foreign exchange trading, where you trade in currencies. You have people think about the stock market. We think about real estate, but nobody think about insurance. That's the #1 way to pass down generational wealth, and it must be in your portfolio. 70% of the flood victims in Houston wasn't covered by insurance. I mean, when you think of Houston, I think of desert. I didn't think of like Houston would have a massive flood like that, but stuff does happen. Insurance does play a role. That's the #1 way to transition. If I had a heart attack, today, you know, I would like to leave something for my wife and son. That's the #1 way to take hundreds of thousands of dollars or possibly millions and pass it down to him, right? To where we're teaching him, but you just can't pass it down to the next generation. You gotta understand and give them financial literacy. I don't want him to go out there and buy a car and buy some jewelry and, you know, buy a bunch of clothes and a bunch of liquor, and, you know, next thing you know, he's back to square one in 5 to 10 years. You have to pass down financial literacy. If you're saying, well, what if my child is not that good at finances? You can set up something called a trust, where a trust pays out a child or the beneficiaries only a certain amount. Like it may say, hey, you're only going to get $5,000 a month, and that's a way to keep your legacy going, where someone won't just take your money and just blow it completely. Or you can sit back and buy them land, all this stuff like that. But different ways to invest instead of stocks and bonds. You got Forex trading, you got real estate, you got insurance, you got your own business, and you got someone else's business. What about the fees with the trust? That depends, Gardner Douglas. That depends on the particular trust. And the only reason why I would recommend a trust or to say a trust is to say, hey, it depends on. Like I have to sit down with a person and see what their whole situation is. I can't say, oh, well, trust fees are bad or whatnot. How much money are we talking? We talking about $100? Are we talking about $100,000? Are we talking about $100 million? Right? What are you trying to protect? What are your goals of the trust? Is your money just to, hey, I got this money in the trust. I only want to pay my kids $100 per week until the day I die. When I die, I want to pay them $100 a week or whatever the case may be out of my trust. And a lot of people do that so their money just doesn't evaporate. You know, I die today, my son is like, oh, thanks, Dad, and goes out and do a bunch of goofy stuff, and he's 18. Hold on for a second. Matty D, hey, man, any chance I can interview you? Would love to do so and collaborate. Matty D, send me an email. And Gardner Douglas saying, gotcha. Matty D, send me an email. You want to interview me? Send me an email to Chad, CHAD, at royalfinancials.com. That's Chad at the name Chad, CHAD, at Royal, ROYAL, financials, FINANCIALS.com. Send an email to Chad. Chad is the producer of the show. He's my right hand. He's the ones that handles all that good stuff like that. Send him an email, tell me what it is and stuff like that. Matty D, don't have me coming on no crazy show, man. I don't know what type of show you do, but you know, let me, you know, all of the good stuff. But yeah, but anyway, I speak about in life insurance because here in Hawaii, I am a licensed agent with life insurance, health, and accident, and I have my Series 65 and Series 63 exam as well, along with my MBA. But those are things that I learned along the way, and I was like, wow. You don't know. If you look at State Farm, if you look at any insurance company you can think of out there, they all have an investment vehicle. They sell insurance, but they have an investment vehicle. You know, insurance companies only pay out to 2% of its people on average. 98% of clients they would never have to pay out to. That's why the insurance company thrives. That's why the insurance company made it through the Great Depression. It made it through 2008. It made it through so many things, right? Now, AIG had its problems. We had to get bailed out, but it took in too much collateralized debt obligations, right? I can't say your username, but you say, do you have to go through the Treasury to buy bonds? No, you could buy bonds on E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Scottrade. You know, I think I may have a video on here how to buy bonds with E-Trade or TD Ameritrade. If they don't, I'll look it up and I'll definitely get one out there. You know, you don't, but I mean, essentially the Treasury is issuing them. It's the same way with Nike. You don't have to go directly to Nike to buy a stock. You can go through the middleman called a broker like TD Ameritrade, Scottrade, and all the E-Trade and stuff like that. You guys didn't know TD Ameritrade purchased Scottrade. That's pretty cool. But anyway, you have to go through a broker to get it. You know, you don't walk straight into Nike, just like the Treasury bonds. You don't have to go into, some people call them T-bonds, you know, and T-bonds or Treasury bonds or U.S. bonds are pretty much one of the safest investments supposedly out there. But one of the risks with buying a bond right now, we live in a very low interest rate society. When interest rates go up, bond prices go down. Because right now interest rates are like 1.116%. Let's say if a bond gives you 2%. But let's say if interest rates go up to 3% and your bond is only giving me 2%, your price must reflect the new interest rate, if that makes sense. When interest rates go up, bond prices go down. When interest rates go down, bond prices go up. Okay, I don't know who is this, Despona Despera, I can't read. It says, what's the benefit of not going through the broker or middleman? And okay, what's the benefit of it is when you go through a middleman, a broker, that's why you have a stockbroker, right? And a stockbroker must be licensed, right? When you go through a stockbroker, they charge a transaction fee. That's all E-Trade is. It's just online. When you go to E-Trade charges you $6.99 to buy, they charge you $6.99 to sell. If you can go straight to the company and get the stock, good on you. Do it. If you know what? There is a site. I'm going to have to remind me to drop the link in here where you don't have to go through E-Trade or TD Ameritrade. You can go through the Treasury site, the Treasury bond site. You can go directly to them. I haven't done it myself, but I have some people that have. Rodney Jordan says, just wanted to say hi from Texas and thank you for all the info. Keep up the good work. Rodney Johnson, that's what I'm talking about. We got Texas in the house. That's another state. That's California, Florida, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, New Jersey, DC, Hawaii, San Antonio. Okay, I've been down there before. San Antonio, Texas. Went to the Spurs finals. The last one they won some years back. And Maryland. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I ain't forget about you, Matty D. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I hope this is not the topic. No, it's not the topic directly today. Richard is saying it's not the topic today. But Bitcoin is a hot topic. It's doing pretty good. What is a safe way to buy land? I don't know what you mean by a safe way, but one of the biggest ways you can buy land is you go to a realtor, right? Or you know someone directly that's looking to sell their land. A realtor is nothing but a broker. Which sites? By buying land? That seems sketchy. Somebody's telling me that a lot of sites seem sketchy. Happy to say I've increased my income with your videos. That's what I'm talking about, Rodney Jordan. He increased his income with my videos, man. That's amazing. You know, sometimes these videos are not easy to make. You know, sometimes, you know, it becomes a little, you know, to get out there and do it. Okay. Oh, to buy land. But yeah, thank you, man. Rodney Jordan said he increased his income, man. That's awesome. He said keep making the videos. I'm going to definitely keep them coming. I definitely appreciate it. And you know what? We just hit 14,000 subscribers. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. Just hit 14,000 subscribers. That's awesome. And 4.5 years on YouTube. 1 year on the podcast. 1 year on the podcast. Got over 10,500 downloads on the weekly podcast. And another 8,000 views on YouTube. So that's about 200 downloads. About 200-300 downloads and views per week on the podcast. First year. That's great. And we just hit 14,000 here on YouTube. And we're just going to keep trucking. Okay, here. All right. So, to buy land off of a website, I don't know about that. If you're buying land in your area, seek out a realtor, right? And if you're not going to seek out the realtor, and maybe you may know somebody directly. I know in the South, you drive down the road, somebody says they're buying their land with their phone number. But you can't, even though these sites may be sketchy, when you purchasing land, there should be deeds involved. There should be paperwork involved from the state if you're purchasing the land from somebody. And you can look up anybody's land to see if they actually own it. So if I was to go buy land online, I would definitely have it vetted through a real estate agent that I would trust. I just wouldn't go to somebody and just transfer $10,000 via PayPal or whatnot, or whatever the case may be. Go to a real estate agent. Go buy reputable brands and names, and there should be paperwork involved. It's just not like, hey, I had it, you got it. It's something called a deed in land. That land has to be deeded with somebody so you can see who actually owns it. I've seen people try to sell land they don't even own. They got it from a friend, cousin, or a family member that told them they own the land. They don't really own it, and they're trying to sell it to you. But you got to go and make sure they really own it. Hit the thumbs up button, guys, if you like this talk and this combos and stuff like that. So Bitcoin is doing its thing. The thing I would love to see Bitcoin, I wish I had the connections to do it, is I would create a ETF for the Bitcoin industry. Why don't we have an ETF for Bitcoin? Look up the land through the county recording and the deed to see if the taxes are owed. That's good. South Carolina real estate agent here. Okay, we got a South Carolina real estate agent. I can refer someone if you're not in South Carolina. Email me at, let me make sure I get this out, give her a shout out. TRAMANIA dot Dennis, DENNIS at KW.com. She says she's a Coco TY is her username. She's a South Carolina real estate agent, and she can look them up to make sure they are thorough. Also, look it up through the county. They're right. You know, the courthouse, you can look up anybody's land to see if taxes are owed on it, taxes are paid up, and stuff like that. Okay, Chris Prince. Does Robinhood charge 35% fees on sales? Like, what do you mean 35% fees? E-Trade don't charge 35%. What are you selling? You mean 35 cents? Not 35% on sites like E-Trade, no. Plus, there's no cost of the buyer for hiring a realtor. Get help. Rodney Jordan, you're right. Get help on that. Is it smart to sit on marijuana stocks despite their value going down? And he says, thank you guys. Marijuana stocks. Now, when I spoke about marijuana stocks at the beginning of the year, January, February, I got so much, you know, you're an idiot, you're stupid, what are you talking about? You know, industry is about to take off. These stocks, marijuana stocks are doing this and doing that. Who asked me that question? Whoever asked me that question about marijuana stocks, what is your investment goal? What is your investment objective? Because investing, just like me, I've done in the past, I'm guilty too. One of the bad things about investing is what people do is you hold on to the bad stuff and you get rid of the good stuff. You see the good stock, or, oh, I brought Google, it's going up. Let me sell it and take the money. Oh man, I got these crappy marijuana stocks. I'm gonna just hold on to them. Right now with the marijuana industry, me personally, I stayed away from it. I didn't purchase it. I got into marijuana like 4 years ago. I think it was 2014 when it had a hot run. You know, I was still, you know, learning about investing. I'm like, man, you know, this would be a great opportunity. And it buzzed also. When it came back around, I never jumped back into it. And I kind of feel the same way about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is crazy. It's great. We all know marijuana will be in stores like cigarettes. We all know Bitcoin, digital currency, is going to take over. We're not going to be walking around with a bunch of cards. Take me, for example. Look at. Sorry about that. Somebody called my phone. I got to fix that before I go live. But what happens is, take my personal credit card. I have a credit card of, I have a personal, okay, hold on for a second. I'm not buying and selling the marijuana stocks. I'm buying to sit on it, and hopefully in the future, they could pay dividends. That's something I can pass down to my kids. That's true. But the bad thing about the marijuana stocks is when I'm looking at the marijuana stocks is which ones you gonna buy. It's out of the ones that are out there, we all know there's no industry that has 10, 20 companies at the top. It's gonna be about 2 or 3 marijuana companies, just like every industry. When you look at the insurance industry, it's about 2 or 3 or 5 companies at the top, which, you know, out of all these thousands of marijuana companies out there, all of them are not going to make millions and billions. I'm just sorry. Majority of them are going to fuzzle off. Somebody else new is going to come along, or whatever the case may be. So what's the likelihood in my head that I can pick the right marijuana stock? I can't pick the right one. Yeah, they all sound great. They all say good stuff, but, you know, they all put out good press reports and good news. But how do I know who's going to be the one to go into the future? And Richard says, I think it's very saturated right now, just based off of weed prices right now. I think it's overly saturated. And I think that Bitcoin is too. Like, all these Bitcoin companies that are out there, you don't know how many Bitcoin companies have written this show talking about, hey, could you talk about my Bitcoin? I talked to a buddy, he's building a cryptocurrency. This person's building one, and this and this and this and that. How can I logically pick out of the thousands of digital currencies that are out there, this is going to be the one to go to the future? I'll just have to wait, because guess what? The cream will rise to the top. If there was an ETF that came out that I can track the Bitcoin industry, I would say, hey, maybe it's worth it now. But there's nothing out there that I know of that I can track Bitcoin. So for now, I have to sit back and wait. So that's the way I look at the Bitcoin currencies, all that stuff like that or whatnot. So Okay, Chad, I think government-backed marijuana companies will perform better due to the government backing them. So he's saying, hey, companies, the way to kind of weed it out is look at the ones that are backed by the government. The ones backed by the government will probably do better in the future. You know, yes, government contracting is a huge thing to get, huge thing to become a part of. So that's my personal take on the marijuana stocks. Me right now, personally, if it's so much other companies out there that are doing great, the stock market's at an all-time high, stocks at an all-time high. Okay, Always Ready 24/7 says, that's a funny stream name too. Let me see. He says, no ETF because regulators don't know how to categorize them. The owners of Gemini Exchange, the Winklevoss twins tried to get there listed, but the regulators needed more time to investigate crypto. You're right. I remember seeing that. I remember seeing they tried to create an ETF, and it pretty much the SEC said, the Security Exchange Commission said, no, we got to investigate this or whatever the case may be. And you're right. I remember they tried that, and if they make that happen, I wish I could make it happen. You know, if the SEC listening to me, I want to share this to the SEC, I can make it happen. If I could create an ETF that tracked marijuana companies, where I went down and picked the top financial stability companies out there, I'd love to have that opportunity. But I ain't got the connections, not yet at least. So anyway, if I could do that, that would be awesome. To create an ETF that bottles up Bitcoin, or ETF that bottles up the marijuana industry, to where somebody's out there, out of all these 10,000 Bitcoins and marijuana company, you and my friend are trying to pick one that's going to go off into the future. Maybe you may hit the lottery, maybe not. I ain't that lucky, so I don't even know what I ate this morning, so so I ain't that lucky to know which ones like that. But do I think it'll be an industry? Yes. We know, I've said in the next 10 or 20 years, marijuana is already like that in some states where it's going to be recreational use. You're going to be able to go into the convenience store and buy marijuana. Same thing with digital currencies. Take my personal life, like I was saying before I got cut off. I got like 10 credit cards in my wallet. It's not 10 credit cards, right? I got a travel card. I have my personal checking card, my personal credit card. I have a business checking card, a business credit card, a non-profit credit card. That's crazy. And we're not even talking about ID and all this other good stuff like that. You're talking about we're not going to be in the future. I don't even think we have ATMs in the future. I know we're not. I just know, and we look at what we're doing with PayPal. Look at what we're doing. Bitcoin, I've seen people buying and selling stuff with Bitcoin already. So look at what we're doing with PayPal. Look at Western Union. Look at all these different companies. We're going to get there. Robots are changing the world fast. Chris Prince, you're right. Robots, artificial intelligence is the scariest thing to mankind. They could implement a lot of robots right now, but I think the biggest thing that's holding people back is it's going to do so much damage to mankind as a whole. What I mean by damage is, what are these people going to do? If you put in a bunch of robots and have them, if I'm a business owner and I can spend $120,000 and get my whole McDonald's robotized, that's the word to use, have robots all in there, right? If I was able to do that, and I do that, what are all those people? I may get rid of 20 jobs. Those 20 people, where are they going to go? And it's a lot that could be done so much. Robots can build roads. I've seen robots building houses. I've seen robots, pretty much doing cars. Always Ready 24/7 said you can do it. You just have to pay to play. Follow the money. Out in Cali, the state has set up a agency to regulate MJ sales. Trust me, it's coming. In 2018, put on a federal level. Nope. I'm kind of lost on you there. I know you're saying I can do it as far as the ETF. I definitely look into it if I had the right connection. You can have to, I may reach out to a couple of my connections to pay to play. You're right, everything costs money. He says follow the money. Out in Cali, Cali, the state has set up an agency to regulate Michael Jordan sales. Wow, that's crazy. Trust me, it's coming. 2018 on a federal level. Wow, that's crazy. Regulate Michael Jordan sales. I guess the federal government's like, hey, if you buying and sell, I need a piece of it. I gotta get some taxes out of you. So, marijuana. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh, he's saying marijuana. Okay, all right, gotcha. I thought he was talking about the ETL. Cali State Agency to regulate the company. Yeah, you're right. Marijuana is a big, it's a big industry that definitely will take over. How will it take over? I don't know. Which companies will do it? Chris Prince from Chicago. Thanks for your videos. I'm getting good. If you want a team like Wolf of Wall Street, I'm in. All right, Chris Prince. Chris Prince, send an email to Chad. See what you're about. We gotta, but yeah, definitely, man. Chris Prince is out of Chicago, so there we go. We got Illinois in the house. Let's do a recap. We had a shout out from Cali, North Carolina, South Carolina, Maryland, DC, Florida. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. Florida, Hawaii. I think that's about it. It was about 10 states. Did I name 10 states? I probably did. I'm a little slow. Can't remember every Maryland, DC. Oh, New Jersey. All up and down East Coast, West Coast. Oh, Texas. Texas definitely was in the house. Look at Burke County. That's my hometown, Waynesboro, Georgia. Burke County, Georgia. But yeah, definitely, man. Definitely thank everybody for tuning in throughout the United States or whatnot, just to hear me sit here and run my mouth. So, but anyway. But yeah, I definitely think, well, going forward, I think that's the biggest scare to humanity. A lot of these secretary jobs, a lot of these waiter jobs, a lot of these fast food jobs. Think about the fast food industry. They pretty much can cut 50% of their workforce with robots, probably 60. He said, I definitely email later. Thanks again, sir. Okay, Chris Bench, definitely send that email in. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, guys, if you're liking the video. So I said we got, 16 thumbs up? That's pretty cool. But yeah, when you look at that stuff, man, we can definitely, if I can set up something like that to create an ETF, it makes sense. I mean, Bitcoin, yes, Bitcoin got a lot more to go through. I think it's going to go through the same roughs as marijuana. Marijuana has become a little bit more legalized since you got Washington, you got Colorado, Washington. I can't think of the other. Nevada, I think there's another state that voted to legalize marijuana. So again, that's definitely going to be a big piece. Okay, there we go. 17 thumbs up. Appreciate that. Push it out to your friends, family, cousins, and brothers in them. So anyway, I didn't want to get off the hard topic to what people are saying. Hey, man. What are some other ways I can invest? I think, you got foreign exchange that's out there. You have real estate. You have business. You have venture capitalists. Venture capitalists, you can invest into other people's business, like the sharks do. We got the Black Halo saying, what's the problem with Bitcoin? I don't see a problem with Bitcoin at all. I see Bitcoin as digital currency will be the future. My point is, Black Halo, if I go to invest into a company in Bitcoin, how can I pick the one out of the thousands that are out there? That's my problem. That's my personal problem. I'm not saying it's a problem with the cryptocurrency. I don't people be like, oh, Prince says it's a problem with the cryptocurrency because he don't understand it and da-da-da. I'm right there with you. We will be on a digital currency some type of way. I can't see people walking around with these big plastic cards, jamming them into machines and swiping them on machines just to buy something with this much technology. We're talking about going to Mars. You mean to tell me we can't innovate enough? It just takes time. We'll get there. But who will be the leading force? What will be the company? There's thousands of them out there right now, Black Halo. Which one you picking? What made you pick that one? How is that one better than the next one? What I'm supposed to do, go buy all 1,000 of them? Or I can just wait till the cream rises to the top. Yeah, you're right. See, Black Hilo. Yeah, it's a lot of them out there. Exactly. So people are like, yeah, man, go buy Bitcoin. They just go buy a regular digital currency that could be, the government could come out and say, hey, you know what? All this Bitcoin stuff, no. We're going to have the Bit dollar. This is what we're going to take. This is going to be the only legal currency. You just never know what may happen, right? I believe in blockchain technology. I believe in artificial intelligence. I believe in artificial intelligence. Every day I get an email. Gmail is pretty much almost responding back to my emails without me saying it. You guys seen that? When someone sends you an email and it's like 3 categories of the reply, it's like, hey, how do you want to reply? Do you want to say yes, no, thanks, looks good? I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Half of the replies that are down there are things I would say. Things that I'm getting ready to type. So that's crazy. I want you guys to look at that. Robots will take, Always Ready 24/7 says robots will take a portion, I think he meant of, the blue collar jobs, and AI/blockchain tech will take a portion of the white collar jobs. It's just a fact. You're right. So if you're going to take, robots are going to take majority of these blue collar jobs. If you have a job that's repetitious, if you have a job that's dirty, you're probably going to be replaced by a robot. That's just the truth. Artificial intelligence, it probably will flip Wall Street and the financial industry up on top of his head. My question already 24/7, all those people, money doesn't disappear, it just goes somewhere else. These people that's going to lose all these jobs, where would they go? McDonald's coming in like, hey, we got these robots now, we can let 50% go out of the fast food industry. You talking about 50% of the workforce in fast food is millions of people. Where will these millions of people go if they don't have a job? Now you're talking, that's why I think it'd be the greatest, that's the greatest threat to humanity. A lot of these college degrees that people are getting are pretty much worthless. If you're not in, like, if you're not learning business, computer science, or like human resources, healthcare, something like that, it's gonna be tough. A lot of people who got theater and theatrical degrees, yes, that's a skill, but you got reality TV out there now. You got people like people who got journalistic and communications degrees. You know, that was a good job to get back in the day. You become a journalist for a magazine. You could become a journalist for a TV station or a radio. But now you got people like me who have no communications education, formally education. I have no journalistic formal education, right? And I come out here and I do journalistic work. Now, because it's just due to technology. If it wasn't for technology, I wouldn't be able to do this, right? So it's because of 20 years ago, you wouldn't be watching me. I'm sitting here in Hawaii. Yeah, computer science. Yeah, cyber. You're right. You're right. Chad said, you know, cyber is the way to go. Cyber is crazy right now. You know, think about, look at all these breaches. You're talking about the Equifax breach. You're talking about the you got the Equifax breach. You got the it's a breach like every week now. Every company has a breach, you know, and whatnot. And every time you have these breaches, that's just let you know more and more cybersecurity is the way. If you love computers, computer science, business, because business doesn't change. The way we do business may change, but business itself doesn't change. We may change. Oh, instead of using dollars, we use credit cards. Instead of using credit cards, we use PayPal. That's all business. It's just the way we do it just changes. So I feel as though businesses will be here forever because money is, finances is the backing of everything. You know, so if you don't have the money, whatever you got is going nowhere. And if you take away the money from something, whatever is moving is going to stop. That's guaranteed. So money is, you know, I can be on I want to fly to Georgia to do a good cause. That plane ticket is not free. That hotel is not free. That rental car is not free. So everything costs money. So if you don't have money, it stops whatever is moving. And whatever is moving, if you take away the money, it's going to stop. Just showing you how important the, you know, business. That's why I think business is in that crucial category. I think computer science is in a crucial category because it's here forever. You know, it's a way of our lives. People can hack into anything with all these hackers, and we're putting more and more of our lives on computers. I don't know why we're not voting online yet. Sometimes explain to me why we're not voting online. People are like, well, we don't know. That's the president of the United States. But we do all our banking. We do all our schooling. We do all our business. We put our most sacred stuff online. How many times you don't type in your social security number online? Your credit card is online. Our whole life is online. Now when you go to school, most school teachers have a website for you to turn in your work and all the other great stuff. So why are we still in 2017 standing in line to go vote? He's saying definitely not secure enough right now. Yeah, that's true, but it's anything that's man-made can be hacked into. That's why cybersecurity, because every day you build a new security wall, somebody's trying to figure out a way to get through it. If they work hard enough, they will get through that security wall, and you got to build another security wall. So that's why it's an ever-going cycle. But when we do our most important and crucial things in our life is done online. Everything we have done so far in our life, you can't even live without the internet now. We pay our bills online. All our money is done online. All our education, all our personal information, our whole livelihood is online right now. So with our whole livelihood being online, I don't see how, I don't know. That's just me. He said, what's your favorite way to make money? Hold on, true. They actually provide the state voting booths can be hacked. The state voting booths can be hacked. That's crazy. But, okay, what's my favorite way to make money? I want to say, Richard, that's a good question. I don't have a favorite way. You know what my favorite way to make money is? Passive money. To where, like, people came on here and they said in the past, they say, hey, I want to donate to you. I want to get on your super chat and donate. Which I'm not a big fan of donations. If you want to support me, support the project. You already support me by tuning in and watching me. But, support our books, our apps, our books, our podcasts, stuff like that. Those things are crucial because those are the things that get guests to come onto the show because they see people like you. Those are things, those sales, when they generate, that shows the impact. Remember, okay, hold on for a second. I got cut off again. Always Ready 24/7 says accountants/lawyers are in trouble. CS, what you mean by CS? Healthcare degrees. Farmers are coming back into style. Organic farming, I would agree with that. Agriculture. There is a glitch in the matrix. Plus, government guaranteed a minimum income. You're right. Lawyers and healthcare, you're right, because computer science. Okay. Yeah, I agree 100%. Computer science, hold up. Accountants and lawyers are in trouble. Computer science and healthcare degrees, farmers are coming back into style. I'm right there with you, always Ready 24/7. Accountants and lawyers, because think about it. Why do I need an accountant when you have so much software out there that will take your whole business and tell you everything what you're doing? The banks are halfway doing that. At the end of the year, my bank sit back and it tells me, oh, hey, fat boy, you spent most of your money on eating out. Bingo. You spent most of your money eating out. You have so much software out there that'll tell you everything. You have software. You can do your taxes online. So accountants, definitely. The CPAs, they play a role on a big level. On a big white collar level, they play a role. Because taxes and stuff like that, you may not know the difference, tax implications. They can do doing forensic accounting, maybe coming in and making sure nothing is what's the word I'm looking for, and doing investigations, doing inspections on businesses. I can see them having a role that way. But yeah, in their traditional role, no. Lawyers, half of the stuff people can look up online. People going on LegalZoom. People have half of the stuff people can see online. But I think that those accountants, smart contracts are the rage right now. Always ready. What are smart contracts and what? Explain to me that. Well, what does that mean? Is that like template contracts you're speaking about? Let me know what you're talking about on that. He said, "What's the cost of living like in Hawaii?" Too damn high, crazy. Probably the highest cost in state that you can possibly live in. So it's pretty expensive here. It's Hawaii. It's an island. It's a paradise. Old retired people. To get a decent house here, you're talking about $400,000, $300,000. A condo. You get a condo for like $400,000, which is pretty much ain't nothing but a fancy word for an apartment. 400,000 and up. You want something nice, decent, 400,000 or 500,000, 600,000 now. Almost $1 million around here just to purchase a house. So, the cost of living here is high. Put it in perspective, a gallon of milk out here is like $8. So, yeah, Hawaii is, cost of living is pretty high. I didn't know what he said. I was waiting on Always Ready 24/7 to tell me he meant by smart contracts. But you're right. Computer science and healthcare. Matty D, you just invested into Hawaii? What is HW? That don't mean Hawaii. What is HW? You told me you just invested into HW. Y'all be using these acronyms. Yes, template contracts put out on the blockchain. Put the court system will always be here. Is the economy strong there outside of tourism? Okay, I got a couple questions. All right, so Always Ready, he said pretty much what I thought, smart contracts. You're right. Back in the day, to do a contract, I've done business deals without lawyers. And the reason why is because of what you just said. A lot of a contract, at the end of the day, a contract has no merit unless you're going to sue somebody. You write down a piece of paper, a person says, I'm going to give you $100 a month, and you say yes, y'all sign off and agree. The person be like, I'm not going to pay you. The only thing you can do is take the person to court. That's the only thing I can see, the court system not going anywhere. And if you go to court, depending on what it is, you may want to get legal representation. The only time I can see getting lawyers is as you grow, somebody will always try to sue you. Somebody will always come after you. So legal representation does play a role with, just think about how many lawsuits that Apple and Microsoft and Steve Jobs and stuff like that. Even little old me, I'm a nobody, and I've been through legal situations before just because, I don't know, jealousy, anything, right? So I can see them having consulting people and stuff like that. But you're right, contracts, you can do majority of those online. Contracts don't mean nothing. You can have a lawyer sit there and go through the contract. A person could sign it and still not hold up to the end of the bargain. So the only reason why you would need a lawyer is to take somebody to court. You're right. If you're a landlord, you don't need to go get a lawyer to draft up a landlord agreement. You can Google a landlord agreement. You can Google a tenant agreement. You can Google a record deal. You can Google and change up a few words, and boom, you got a contract. Production contract. So you're right. Agriculture. You don't see too many people going to school with agriculture. How many people you see, hey, I'm going to college so I can become agriculture and farming and stuff like that? You don't see it. Growing up in Georgia, it was like older people that used to farm, and older people used to, go outside and take care of the fields and literally live off the land. How many people you see living off the land? Very far and few between. I'm not talking about, hey, I grew some peaches over here or some peas or something like that. I'm talking about like, you got cows and hogs for meat, and then you got fruits and vegetables and trees and peach trees and watermelons, and you planting on the seasons and stuff like that. You rarely see that stuff these days. Rarely see that stuff these days. Or people even going to school for that. Most people in school right now is for accounting, business, criminal justice. Your degree is just a piece of paper, and your degree don't mean nothing unless somebody's paying for it. Unless somebody's going to pay you for it. Most of the people like Steve Jobs and Michael Dell, they don't even have in business. You don't need a business degree to open up a business. So you're right. The government is going to have to start paying people just to live. Somebody said, okay, should I invest into Hawaii? In what regards you want to invest into Hawaii? You can get municipal bonds. I know that. Is the economy strong there outside of tourism? Yes, you got tourism. A lot of Asians buy property here. The economy is doing pretty well. It's okay. It's okay. The economy is not thriving, I would say, here in Hawaii, but it's doing pretty good. Okay, P City. Who is P City? Where you from, P City? He says, is there money in real estate property or real estate rental property? Of course. Think about it, right? How many people you know rent versus buy? Me personally, I believe in you should rent where you live and buy where you rent, if that makes sense. Buy a house to rent it out, but where you live, you got to be able to rent. Like me, I'm not big on buying a house for my primary living because I'm very mobile. I want to remain mobile. Wisconsin, we got Wisconsin, P City, all the way from Wisconsin. Let's do a recap. We got Wisconsin, Chicago, New Jersey, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, California, Houston. I'm trying to think if I'm missing somebody. Maryland, Kansas City, Missouri. Okay, we got Kansas City. I just saw Missouri. Man, we all over the place. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button. Get the thumbs up button. I think we at 1920, something like that. Kansas City, Wisconsin. We're all over the place today. All right. So of course there's, people are always going to rent. My thing is, if you're a young man, if you buy a house, you got to be very mobile. If you're not solid in your career, and like we spoke about the last time we was on live, it's some people that I had a buddy that was sitting in Waynesboro, Georgia, middle of nowhere, right? And he was trying to get an IT job and couldn't find one. I told him, I was like, you in Waynesboro, Georgia. Maybe you need to go to Silicon Valley. Maybe you need to go to DC, and go to these technology hubs and go there. You may have to leave. If you brought a house, you may not want to leave because you're tied down. You got an anchor. Sometimes buying a house could be like throwing an anchor in the water. And yeah, you can rent it out, but it's not like wham bam depending on where you at. You just can't be like, oh, but it's like my dad has a house down in Georgia. He has a hard time renting it out. A lot of people can't afford it in that area. So it's not wham bam, I just rent it out and just leave. So if you're young in your career and you're still trying to figure out where you want to be, you may want to rent. If you're big on buying, go buy a piece of property and rent it out. Buy a piece of property, rent it out, and rent where you live. Right? That would be my way of doing a real estate game. But I'm not the real estate expert on that. But we have a lot of real estate experts that have stopped by. Bitcoin. Steven Johnson said Bitcoins. Hold on, we just talked about Bitcoins a lot. Matty D, invest in their cost of living. It's crazy expensive. Yes, but how are you going to invest into the cost of living, Matty D? How can you invest in somebody's cost of living? Municipal bonds? School me on that. Oh, we got Georgia in the house. Black Helo, Georgia. Okay. We got Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, New Jersey, Illinois, Texas, Missouri, California. I think that's it. All over the place. Hawaii, Maryland, DC. So I don't know, it's like 10 different states or whatnot. Yo, thank you guys. Oh, there we go. We're up to 23 likes. Okay, cool. Man, I've been on this thing for almost an hour. Y'all been sitting here watching me run my mouth. So, but I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and close this thing out. On Tuesday, we got this tune in for the Prince of Investing. It's going to be live. You want to check it out live? Check it out at 5 p.m. Eastern time to 5:30. It is www.thinktechhawaii.com, where it's going to be shot live if you're not here in Hawaii. If you're here in Hawaii, I think it comes on like Oceanic, Time Warner Cable, Ocean 16, something like that maybe. And don't worry about it, if you can't see it, it will be up on the here on the YouTube channel come Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. Follow us on Facebook, The Investor Show. Hit me up on Facebook, Prince Dykes on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the podcast, all of the good stuff like that. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Androids, iPhones, iPods, tripods, all of the good stuff. So it's getting a little I know I put a little good bit of time on here. I'm gonna get off. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Just smash the. That's what I'm talking about already. 24/7. Just smash the like button. Exactly. Yeah. 24 thumbs up. I appreciate that. Hear me run my mouth. But I'm gonna keep dropping those tutorials. I'm gonna keep doing these videos. I'm gonna keep bringing y'all the best financial minds in the world, giving you guys a game, learning along with me. I'm gonna be doing some more book reviews too. Hit me up on Snapchat, Prince Dykes 1. That's my first last name 1. Hit me up on Snapchat so you can see some of my boring, crazy life. But anyway, that's all my time for now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until the next video, cartoon, podcast, books, all of the goofy stuff. Tell a friend, family member, cousin, all that good stuff. Until the next video, hold on, wait. Coco TY said, it's been awesome. Thanks for sharing the knowledge. Coco, appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to keep going and keep trucking. And hopefully, I need to get out here and go live somewhere. I need to start doing some live appearances somewhere. But we'll work it out in the future. Richard says, thanks, cool. Richard, thanks for tuning in. All across the United States, we had East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, South, all of the good stuff. But I'm out of here. Peace.